actually just gave me this platform to be able to come to colleges and bring forth the word of the Lord, or bring forth knowledge that people haven't heard already. And honestly, if somebody doesn't give you an audience, you have no platform. And that's why I'm eternally grateful to my spiritual leader, my most esteemed Brother Joshua and Gilla. We love you, Papa.
We love you, Papa.
And I also want to thank God for the life of my also regional pastor of North America, our most esteemed Brother O.C. King, who also has been a great mentor and guide even in this work. So God bless you, most esteemed Brother O.C. King.
God bless you, most esteemed Brother O.C. King.
And I want to thank God for each and every one of you who came today. Honestly, you took out your time. That's awesome. Like Pastor Christian said, and before we begin, I just want to pray a prayer. Heavenly Father, I just want to thank you for the lives of all of your children who have come today. Sweet excellent Holy Spirit, this is your meeting. Please have control. I thank you for every aspect of this meeting, from the beginning to the end, for the lives of all those who are in attendance. Lord, we pray for them that these ones, their life shall get better onto better. And surely this day will be a great day in their life. It will always be a remembrance before you. In Jesus' mighty name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Awesome, brothers and sisters. So, welcome. Welcome to Sexton College, and we're super glad to come to Vermont. This is actually my second time in Vermont. I was here 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And Vermont is awesome. It's very beautiful, and it's very different from New Jersey, obviously. But it's a great privilege to be out here and to meet so many awesome people. We've met a lot of people, and everybody's been hospitable. And I really want to thank God for all of you guys. Anyone who's actually ever assisted Casey, who's actually on your campus in St. Michael's. Honestly, even with this work, we're eternally grateful. She's been awesome. Please, and all those who have helped her in any which way with this program. We've heard countless of how many of you guys have helped her with this program. And honestly, from us to you, we're eternally grateful to all of you guys. That was really beautiful. Now, before we begin, we're actually going to do a small activity before we begin this program today. And as you know, Sexton College, I've actually watched all of you guys today. I watched all of it. I just wasn't in the room watching it. But it was very real, very transparent, very cutthroat, straight to forward, and it can be very vulnerable, you know?
Yeah.
But when you talk about sex, that's how it is. It's very open.
Yeah.
Sex is very, very open. So in the midst of this, we actually want to do activities. Does everybody have I don't know if you're getting bags, maybe like a notebook or a piece of paper?
Yep.
If you have a piece of paper and a pen, then, well, now we're about to put the notebooks to use. If you don't, you should probably get one. Or you might need one, you might not need one. We'll all find out after this question. So you could just get a notebook and so forth. Sorry, guys. I should have told you that a little bit before.
Can we use phones?
Let's use paper. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Do you all have a piece of paper? Would you like one? You can get your paper. Awesome. Thank you. Just a piece of paper, if you have a pen, and so forth. Just a simple activity. It'll be really fun. Awesome. Now, I think everybody has one. Great. Now we've already really broken the ice with a lot of activities already, so no shyness. No shyness, we're already here at this point. So we're gonna ask some of you questions. You're not gonna write just yet, so don't worry, but you're gonna write something. So in this program, we're gonna ask all of you, you can just raise your hand. So how many of you are single right now? Awesome. Okay, everybody shy, that's true. How many of you desire to meet someone? Awesome. Honestly, don't feel shy, guys, okay?
Yeah.
Technically, nobody can see you but me and you. Because
That's
everybody
true.
can see you alongside you. I can only see you, really.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
And how many of you don't mind meeting someone new here? Awesome. We have a part 1 and a part 2 program. And what we actually want to tell you all is that this kind of program, Sexton College, is an excellent program to actually meet people.
Yep.
To actually meet a partner, to actually meet someone that you can grow with. You've already broken a boundary that people haven't broken in 5 months of relationships.
That's true.
It's true.
No honesty, no transparency, no realness to the fact.
It's true.
But in this program, you've already said everything blatantly. And I saw some of you guys come over, I was like, wow, this is, honestly, I don't know if I was that bold in college, but I like it, like, you know? So you already came up and some people brought their personal experiences. Some people actually just gave an overview or answered the questions, but right there, you've already broken the ice that some people have not been able to cut through. I think there was a question where they explained, okay, what do you usually talk about on the first date?
Yes.
Nobody talks about sex on the first date. Mind you, it's a vital part of your relationship.
Right.
So in my head, I said, wow, like it's so true. If you ask some people, they may not feel comfortable, but somehow, some way, over time, we've been able to find out some of the two of the strongest things that have ever affected people's relationships is sex and money.
It's true.
So if you really can't tackle those things, then along the way it might be harder. You know. So why don't we just clear the air?
Yeah.
So that's why we even brought this activity in the beginning. Is that how many of you are single? How many are looking to meet someone? Because these kind of programs is where you should meet someone. You know how many people find themselves on the dating app and they don't even know that person even 6 months in?
It's true.
It's very popular. We're in COVID times and so forth, and many people are like, oh, you know what? I like to be in a relationship. How do you find yourself? Situations like this where you can have an open conversation about sex, about your reality, about your relationships. This is where you will meet a partner. This is where you can feel safe enough to meet a partner, because more than ever, they've already opened up themselves and they didn't even know you. They've already exposed the aspect of themselves, and you didn't have to like run through 10 Instagrams and go back and follow and try to figure out what they said.
It's true.
Yeah, because I'm telling you, hunting can be hard. Don't do that. Okay, so with that said, at this point, this is where the notebooks come in, okay? We're gonna be super honest, guys. For the women, you have your papers, right?
Yep.
You're gonna list the kinds of guys you like. Like, what kind of guy do you like? And you can be super honest. You can even go all the way to a physical matter, like physique. You know, you don't have to just say, like, you know, what kind of stuff. If you like a chiseled guy with a nice jaw, hey, it is what it is. Life is good. All good things come to those. Amen. So you can just write down at this moment. You can write down the kind of guys you like, whatever it may be. You can be honest and write I can't see your paper, or it's only you that can actually see it, but you can just be honest and write some things down. For the guys, you can also do the same for like a woman. What are the kind of women you like? What do they look like? What do they remind you of? Like, you can get so deep into it. So at this moment, we're gonna give you a couple minutes and you can actually write. Be honest, enjoy yourself. Don't feel stressed. Don't feel stressed about it. Don't feel stressed about it. Okay? Don't say, Pastor, I hope you're not gonna expose it. Like, even, let me tell you something, none of it. If I write my own, trust me, I will be just as close to the end, close to the edge about it. It's true. You might like a tall guy, you might like an honest girl, you might like someone who's close by, you might like some people like long distance relationships, some people, whatever it may be, but everybody knows what they like in some which way or form. Awesome. And that's the reason why we're even having this activity, because honestly, guys, the topics you discussed here, how many of you have really discussed that in a lot of places openly? Some people have. Awesome, awesome. Exactly. For some, they haven't had that chance to really have an open, honest conversation about sex, or about relationships, or about partnerships. You may not be able to have that spacing. So this is what we're doing here today. Awesome. So even as you wrote the kinds of guys or girls you like, and we honestly mean this is the perfect place to meet someone new. To meet someone that maybe you met, maybe you never met. Being open, being transparent. Awesome. So keep that there. You guys can keep it to yourselves. Obviously I said those are singles, so if your relationship, don't worry. All is well. All is well, prosper in your relationships. But this is for everyone else. I wish I had this in college. I'm not gonna lie. I wish it was just as open. I was someone who loved to talk about sex with my friends. Like, I was the person people would go to for advice, honestly. I was like, man, this is interesting. Like, I just love to know people's stories, whether it be the good, the bad. I loved it. I just really did. And why? Because a personal thing is that I really don't believe you can be friends with anyone you can't have conversations about sex with. Because it's so personal. It's so real. It's so deep. For some, it may be whether good or bad. It's like uncovering things you've never uncovered in your life.
It's true.
Openly to people.
It's true.
And if you can't do that with your friends, you can't do that with your partner, someone you're in a relationship with, it's gonna be hard. You know?
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. So don't feel like I put you on ice, guys. Okay? Don't worry. So we're gonna keep that there. We'll talk about it later. And we're gonna get to the message, okay? I know we started a little early, but it won't be too long. We're gonna spend a lot of it on the evening session, but we're gonna give you just a little insight. The title of this message is called God and Sex. Okay? So God and sex.
God and sex.
Don't be so timid, guys. God and sex. I like noise. I like
God and sex.
I like having conversations. God and sex.
Good.
Okay? Somebody's like, first off, those two should never be together. Okay? Let's keep them far apart. As you heard with our most highly esteemed pastor Christian, it's true. People just don't believe God is involved in your sex life or even cares. But the reason why this title is so crucial is because God actually has a business in your sex life. He has a care and a concern. And this sex in college might be a little different because we're going to talk about a different aspect of God and sex. Okay? We're going to turn to Genesis 35, verse 1. I mean, how many of you have ever thought about, honestly, what does God really think about sex? Because all I first of all think is that he must hate it, it's a sin, it's terrible. Like, you know, somehow, some way, when I finally get there, we'll figure it out. Okay, like, you know, but it's really just like, it's like the no-go zone when it comes to life. Don't go there, don't ask, don't worry. But really, I believe God has something to say to you about sex. He has, he always has.
For sure.
It's just who wanted to listen. Okay. Even along the lines of how does God even react to sex? We're going to read a story. It's very, very fun. But within this story, let's tell you something. You're going to learn about relationships, about people. And that's why we even told you in this activity that this is the safest place to be sober because no deception.
It's
No
true.
deception, yeah.
A lot of times people have gone through relationships, situations where they said, you know, they've been cheated on, or they had to actually, I like honest people because I've been in a relationship where the person wasn't honest.
It's true.
That's
Many
true.
people have.
Yes, that's true. Yeah, that's true.
But when you can clear that red tape, you're like, wow, I feel a lot safer.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you feel safe in your relationship?
I
You should feel
should.
safe in your sex life. I really believe so.
Definitely.
But how do you feel safe in your relationship or your sex life?
It's a good question.
We're gonna explain, this is a family story, like down to the grit of it all. It's a marriage story, it's a relationship story. And it starts with one woman, but it has the whole family involved. Father, brother, husband, all of them.
Wow.
Everyone's in it, okay?
Wow.
This is a big seller in sex, okay? This would be a great pornography trilogy, okay? Right in this, okay?
That's nice.
Because it's so real. Like, these examples, sometimes it can seem like God's so far away, but really, he's so relatable. It's been happening before. It didn't just start this year.
Wow.
Just know that, okay?
Right.
Yeah.
But how does it relate in people's lives? Like, how can you relate to it?
Right.
Yes, it's true.
Because honestly, there's one thing I don't want to be fooled in this life. I
Don't want to be fooled.
It's true.
Let's be real.
I don't want to be in a situation where I'm trying to feel you out, trying to figure out who you are. It's like, oh, I'm still trying to figure out how it's character. We're so far in and you still don't know the person you're with. That can be kind of scary.
Ooh.
Because along the lines, if you can't figure out who they are, then you don't feel safe around them.
It's
That's true. That's true. That's true. Yes, sir.
That's just
Yes, sir. That's true. That's true.
That's why sometimes I'm just like, you know, if you say it now, well, you already know me now. What you gonna do?
Right.
Let's read Genesis 35. I'll read you guys. Okay? Genesis 35, verse 1. And it says, and God said unto Jacob, arise. You guys can read with me?
Arise, go up to Bethel, and dwell there, and make there an altar unto God. There have been unto thee, where thou fleddest from the face of Esau thy brother.
Apologies, brothers and sisters. I knew this is very interesting. This is Genesis 38, now 35. Okay, we need to go to Genesis 38. I was like, Jacob, this is very interesting. No, we're looking for another Jake, just a different one. Awesome. Verse 1. It says, and it came to pass at that time that Judah went down from his brethren,
and turned into a certain Adullamite, whose name was Hira.
Now, just a little background. Judah, if you know Jesus, he came from this lineage.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
So that's why you kind of need to know the story a little bit. Not because it's Jesus aligned to it, but you need to know where his background's coming from. Do you know the generations of the people that you're even interacting with, their lineage, what was the cause for it? If you understand this, you realize this is a little messy family. They have a little, exactly, there's a little T in there. I don't know if you like that one, but this is where his heritage comes from. Let's read verse 2.
And Judah saw there a daughter of a certain Canaanite,
Whose
name was Shua. And he took her and went unto her. And she conceived and bare a son, and he called his name
Let's
Er.
stop there. Judah, as we explained, Jesus comes from this same lineage. Judah is the pioneer of this generation, pioneer of this lineage. And right now, he met a woman, he married her, he took her, married her. He went in onto her. That's another version of, we don't want to say sex. Hey, they had sex, okay?
Yes,
They had sex. She conceived, woo, baby. Like, you know? And she bore a son, and he called his name Er, okay? She's had a son. His name is Er. This is Judah's son with the Canaanite called Shua. Let's go to verse 4.
And she conceived and bare a son, and she called his name Onan.
Second son. We're on the second one now.
Number
Okay.
2. Yes, sir.
We're just filling you guys out. We didn't do too much. Just fill it out a little bit. One child, two child.
Okay.
No problem.
Is that another one?
Verse 5.
Right.
And she yet again conceived.
Wow. And he had a son, and called his name
Shelah.
Shelah.
And he was at Shizah when she bare him. And Judah took a wife for her, his firstborn, whose name was Tamar. Yes. Now this is the life and times of Tamar, okay?
Wow.
I love it. Obviously, we already know she had 3 children. They're talking about the firstborn and just married a woman called Tamar, okay?
Yeah.
And Tamar is, you'll love her, okay? Very gritty, very resilient, but she's been through some things, okay?
Wow.
Some terrible things.
It's good to see.
But we'll find out a little bit more. We're just giving you a concept of family. Right now, we met a man named Judah.
Yup.
He has 3 sons.
Yes.
3 big ones.
The firstborn married Tamar,
Yup.
okay?
Yes, sir.
But ultimately, like you said, it's a family affair right now. All these men, this one woman. Well, let's find out. Let's go, verse 8. And Judah
Judah
said
said
unto
unto
Onan,
Onan,
go into the,
the
wait, hold on, verse 7. I was realizing, this is a little different, right here.
And Judah's firstborn was wicked in the sight of the Lord, and the Lord slew him.
Okay,
Wow.
so right now, at this point, this is the firstborn we just talked about, right?
Yep.
He just got killed by God, okay? Because God said he was wicked. Do we know what he was wicked about? What
We
wickedness meant? We don't know.
Oh.
All we know is that God killed him because they said he was wicked. Okay, Tamar, your first husband, God went and killed him.
Wow.
Okay, this is a little weird, but let's continue on. And Judah said unto Onan, go in unto thy brother's wife and marry her, and raise up seed to thy brother. Let's stop here. What?
Messy.
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 I'm telling you, all the Real Housewives you watch is not enough for this. This is the tea right here. Tamar, after the first one killed.
Right.
He was murdered.
Lord.
God was behind it, and we won't tell you why. He said he was just wicked. What? We don't know what wickedness is.
Exactly.
It's so true. But then we come to the next one, and that was Onan. He said, okay, Onan, who was saying this? Judah, the father saying, okay, so Onan, you're my second son. This Tamar, your husband just died. We're like, if anything, wouldn't you think, like, God, won't you just spare the man because he has a wife?
Right.
Like, no. Killed him.
Tough.
Second one, it's Onan. And Judah's like, you know what, Onan? This is what I want you to do. You see your brother's wife? I want you to marry her, then have sex with her, have a child, and then put it in your brother's name. Wait, you want me to have a child with my brother's wife,
Messy.
and then go ahead and then put him in the name of my brother? Like, this is not my child. I was just a participant to the work, but this is their child.
My son is dead.
And Judah's like, yes, that's exactly what you're gonna do. That's their father. That's something. This family, very messy. Very. I don't know. If they were teaching this when I was younger in church, I would have been alert.
Right.
Alert. Because
Yeah.
I couldn't believe that this could be possible. Imagine, this is a family, second son in. let's continue on. Just to tell you how deeper it gets. It says, and Onan knew that the seed should not be his. And it came to pass, when he went in unto his brother's wife, that he spilled it on the ground, lest that he should give seed to his brother. So Onan does not want to have a child for his brother's name. No, he said, no sirree. If I'm putting this work in, then guess what? It's my child.
Right.
So he said, no, you know what? I know my dad told me, and this is their authority really in their life right now. Their father, so he's like, I know he wants me to go and have this child in remembrance of my late brother, but no, I don't want to do that. So what am I going to do? Say deception.
Deception.
Nobody likes to be fooled in life.
Yes.
Nobody likes to be deceived in life.
True.
That's why people can't stand being cheated on.
It's
Because
true.
it's really they got deceived.
It's true.
It's like you gave me the book, the blueprint to this relationship, and you scattered it before me.
Right.
You didn't follow suit to it.
Right.
Deception. If you can't actually relate with that, or relate with the idea that others don't want to be deceived just as you don't want to be deceived, then how can you be caring for another person? You can't really say you love someone if you're ready to just scatter and deceive them. And just say all types of, we can't even just say lies. Just living in the background of life. Let's tell you something. Right now, at this point, this is really what happened. The explicit version of it. He married her. He knew he didn't want to have a child for his brothers. He said, but I'm still going to have sex with her. You know, Tamar's beautiful. I'm still going to get what I need from here. I'm going to sleep with her. I'm going to marry her. I'm going to sleep with her. Isn't that kind of orderly? He married her. He had sex with her. All in the right order.
Yeah.
Then when it came to the point where he was supposed to release semen,
Yeah.
what did he do?
He
pulled out. Onto the ground. So this uncle had all the fun. He said, but I'm not going to be a child. Terrible, deceived.
Terrible. Yeah.
So right now, there's two people that got deceived. Judah doesn't even know that his son just fooled him, and Tamar is like, what kind of nonsense is that? So we did all this work just for you to just pull out. I mean, that's in the form of the real time term we call it. He pulled out. He just came on the side, and he's just like, look, we're not doing this. You're not having a child, but I'm surely gonna enjoy the sex.
Wow.
That's why when people sometimes when they explain their experiences, they can feel like they got cheated on, they got disrespected, because when it came to the guidelines, I followed all the orders. Didn't he follow the order?
Right.
He married her. She was like, okay, well, I'm getting married again, no problem.
Right.
I'm about to have a child in remembrance of my late husband. But we're now in the bedroom behind closed doors. This guy did whatever he wanted. He didn't even follow suit to the order that we believed in.
Right.
Have you ever been in a partnership or an agreement where you both agreed on something and the person just scatters the contract?
What happened to the original?
What happened to the original plan?
That's
What happened?
What happened?
Sometimes in present day situations, people find themselves in situations like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna have sex with this person. It'll be a grand old time. It's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I forgot to wear a condom. That wasn't the original plan. That wasn't the original suit. You forgot, or it's like, oh, it slipped midway. I'm so sorry. It slipped midway. I'm really so sorry, but it's okay. You're gonna feel like you got deceived because you put yourself in a situation more than ever, and now what do you feel like? You feel guarded. You feel unsafe in the situation. Tamar was pissed. Okay, at this point, she's pissed. She's like, wait, you went in onto her, you're having sex and you spilled it on the ground. Lest he should give seed to his brother. You literally pulled out. And obviously in these terms, people generally will be grateful. It's like, wow, I'm not pregnant. But this lady's trying to get pregnant.
Right.
That was her purpose, right?
Yeah.
The plan of the purpose was defeated. Let's continue. Let's read verse 10.
And the thing.
Oh, can you guys read?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And the
And
thing
which he did displeased the Lord, wherefore he slew him also.
Okay, so now God is pissed at him. And what did he say? He killed him. 2 sons, Judah. You lost 1 son, a second son.
Wow.
All in the form of displeasure, wickedness. We don't know what they did really. Well, we know what he did. We know what he did. The first one, we don't know what he did.
Yeah.
But all in all, how is God reflected in your sex life? You know how God is reflected in your sex life?
How?
Because more than ever, from where you're realizing it, God wants to know what's the purpose of your sex life. You see, there was a purpose for Tamar. She was trying to have a child.
Right.
And sometimes we see people who are, let's say, they're married, or people who want to have children, they're having sex because they're trying to have a child. Okay?
Yes.
They're having sex because they're trying to have a child.
Yes, sir.
Especially for some people, they may find themselves in situations where they're literally clocking time. It's like, oh, it's ovulation. They're trying to have sex.
Yeah.
So produce a child. That's their purpose. You know, they do it like a job. You
Right.
know? And it's true.
It's
true.
So that may be where they're suited towards. But we're asking you all, what is the purpose behind your sex life?
That's a good question.
For Tamar, it was to produce a child that never actually came anyway. And you can see in the midst of it so many deceptions,
Right.
so many lies. This message today, we're bringing it to you all because honestly, God doesn't like deception. He
Right.
doesn't like to see someone get fooled.
Right.
Tamar went through a lot of stuff. She really did.
Yeah.
And God watched it. You see, some people are concerned about, oh man, I'm about to have sex, God, I'm so sorry, or in the form of masturbation and so forth. Like many people, even in the midst of sex, like, God, have mercy upon me, I'm so sorry. Like, you know, but you know, I'm gonna do this, and after it, no, I'm not gonna do this again. People are worried about the action, so concerned that like God's watching you, like, wow, I can't believe you did that position this time. He's not worried about your actual action of sex. He's worried about the purpose behind your sex. And he's worried about the intentions behind it. Because some people may not have the intentions you have for that person. There was no intention. The intention that Onan had for Tamar wasn't good. His intention was just to have sex with her. She had a different purpose, and it never aligned. So she felt what? Deceived, cheated.
Right.
It's terrible.
Honestly.
This is something that happens. You may say, okay, well, it's not happening today. No, it happens commonly where people feel like they got cheated out of a situation. Where you could be in a relationship with someone, maybe many years, maybe a few months and so forth. You're having sex with the person's like, well, I think maybe we should see other people. And you're like, wait, what?
Right.
I've already invested so much time into this. I already put so much into this relationship. And yes, I've given up myself to this. But we're not on the same path, doing the same purpose. What is the purpose behind your sex life? Amen.
Amen.
It should help you guys.
Yes. And it will.
The first thing you need to do about your sex life is define the purpose first.
Yes, sir.
What is the purpose first? Okay, honesty. Let's say honesty.
Honesty.
When you have sex, when you're having sex with somebody, you can't be honest with them. This is the only time we're having sex.
Ooh.
I know, very messy, right? People don't like this one. Or how about when you're finally having sex with a person, so forth, be like, okay, I'm gonna have sex with you, but I don't want to be in a relationship with you. Now you have the guy or the girl thinking of all these things, like where are we gonna go for dates, and they don't know they're not leaving the house.
Wow.
That's just the reality of the story.
Oh.
Deceived and cheated. Felt like they got lied to.
Right.
We're trying to push them, like you said, we're gonna really give you the bulk of it in the next message, but we're telling you something here. What is your purpose? Not only for yourself, but also the person that's aligning with you. Don't be so careless to think about yourself only. The person that's about to have sex with, do they know? Have we actually defined the terms of our sex life? Okay, so if you're having sex with someone, whether it be casual, you say, you know what, this is just casual sex. This is just me and you are very comfortable with each other to the point that I don't want to be in a relationship with you, but I actually like you. I'm attracted to you. I want to have sex with you. But what about, don't be the person and say, wow, I see so much in you. You keep having sex with the person for months and years. And it's like, oh yeah, it's like, I feel like we're almost there. We're almost to a relationship. And the person is just hitting themselves to believe that that's next. If you can't define the term, should you really be having sex? Should you be honest with the person? I mean, come on. Be honest. So this may be the first and last time we're having sex, okay? How about that one? Honesty.
Right.
Are you not being honest because of the fact that you're scared that the person's not gonna leave? What's the reasons? Clear your conscience.
Right.
That's true.
Be honest with the person.
Yeah.
If you say like, look, we're having sex, this is the purpose, but I'm on to marriage. I want to get in a relationship or something. And that person may not be aligned with it. Are you okay with having sex with that person, knowing that they don't have the same purpose as you?
That's a good question.
Because a lot of people do tend to believe that they got deceived. But if someone told you up front, that was your own cross to bear. You decided to follow suit to that. It's important, brothers and sisters, to first what? Define the purpose behind your sex life. It will help you.
It will.
Tamar, we're reading this story. And it's not just a story, this is real life people who lived on this earth, had a family.
Yeah.
First son she married, he died, God killed him. Second son she married, he died, God killed him eventually, but he lied to her. You see, God wasn't looking at the action, he was looking at the intention.
The intention.
Wow, what you guys do to her? The intentions, he was pissed.
I would be too.
Wow, he's looking like, man, so just this group. And it gets worse. It actually gets worse.
Wow.
You thought it just got bad now?
know.
It's a continuum of it gets worse.
Wow.
So God just looking at this family, not worried about the fact that, okay, whatever he's doing to her, but he's looking at her like, wow, you guys really just deceived this woman. Passed around within the family and empty promises. Nobody wants to be in a relationship or having sex with someone who's not even honest.
God.
Let's continue on. Like we said, we're giving you a gist of it, and the bulk of it will bring it to you this evening. And we hope to see all of you guys in the evening. It's going to really be awesome. I want to give you an idea of this. Some people say, wow, I really honestly never expected to hear about God and sex. I just thought these two should be thrown in the garbage. Yes, not together, but he's right behind it, just not in the way people think. People are worried, like, oh my gosh, I had sex. Like, in the midst of it, you may be crying out to a God that's not even worried about it.
Right.
But he might be worried about your intentions. He said, wait, why did you do that to that girl? Why did you do that to that guy? Why'd you find yourself in this situation? Why can't you just be honest? One great prayer that I love to pray, and honestly, something that, if you like it too, you can pray for yourself as well in your own spare time. Like, I want to be honest and true. In your friendships, you want to be honest and true. In relationships, you want to be honest and true. But you just want to be real.
Right.
Yes.
That's just it. Where do you people ask you every day? Where do you meet real people? All these people and no one's real. It's hard.
It is.
That's why when I said because this is the safest place to meet, because you have to be honest. Let's be honest.
Yes, sir. Yes,
We've been
sir.
lying for so long.
It's true.
You want to be real. Sometimes you can find yourself in a relationship. You have to look. Honestly, I came to a proof called sex and cause. Let me ask you something. Let's be honest. Let's revamp this. Let's put it all on the table. Exactly.
Yeah.
What's your purpose? What's mine? Like, are we aligned in this? Because I don't want to find myself a couple months later, not only angry, pissed, and so forth, just raging because I feel like I got scammed. Let's continue. Right here, verse 11. Then said Judah to Tamar, his daughter-in-law, remain a widow at thy father's house, till Shelah my son be grown. For he said, lest peradventure he die also, as his brethren did. And Tamar went and dwelt in her father's house. Okay, why are we lying to this girl?
God.
Third son, he said, look, just stay in the house. Just stay here. Just stay here with me in the house, okay? No problem. Just stay here. You had a first son, my second. I'm so sorry all the things that happened to you. You're not sorry. I'm so sorry all the things that happened to you. But guess what? You see my third son, Shelah? My third one, he's young right now, but we're going to wait for him to get to full maturity. We'll marry you. It's a family affair. People are so concerned about this woman had been through, you'll see, the whole family.
Right.
All because of what? Deception. Nobody wanted to be honest. Continuing on, let's read in verse 12.
And in the process of time, the daughter of Shua, Judah's wife, died. And Judah was comforted and went up unto his sheep shearers to Timnah, he and his friend Hirath the Amorite.
Verse 13.
And it was told Tamar, saying, behold, thy father-in-law goeth unto Timnah to shear his sheep.
Verse 14.
And she put her widow's garment off from her, and covered her with a veil, and wrapped herself, and sat in the open place, which is by the way to Timnah.
For she saw that Shelah was grown,
and she was not given
unto him to wife. Let's be. This is open, honest relationships. Can you imagine? That at this point, she says, "Look, I'm not about to be cheated on again. I'm not about to be deceived. It's time to play the player in this game, okay?"
Oh.
Because honestly, she realized, wait, first, second, now I'm supposed to wait for the third. And the third one is already grown and the father didn't want to tell him.
Wow.
She didn't want to, the third one didn't even want to actually give it to her. He just kept it to himself. So he backed out on his promise.
Wow.
Sounds so familiar in relationships. Where some people can back out on their promises.
That's true.
So he backed out on her promise, and guess what? She said, "Oh no." You see, one thing about Judah was a widow already. So there was a time in the season that, look, he was like, "Look, I'm still alive. I'm still trying to have sex." So generally in these times, they would find a prostitute or so forth and try to sleep with them.
Right.
Yeah.
Tamar became that prostitute. She decided to wrap herself up. She said, "It's time to go for business. Let's prepare ourselves." She wore the clothes and went out because she was pissed. She said, I can't just be waiting for you to do this all over again. You see, sometimes in the world they say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. She said, no, after that, no more shame.
Right.
We're back in this game.
As you should.
Tamar became really smart in the midst of it. She said, look, I'm going to use this and fool these people. She wrapped herself up. And verse 14 says, when Judah saw her, he thought her to be a harlot. So he was ready to have sex. This guy was horny. And he said because she had covered her face, so he was like, this lady, beautiful. She covered her face, so he doesn't even know it's his daughter-in-law. She covered her face, and guess what? He turned onto her by the way and said, go to, I pray thee, let me come in unto thee. So he's telling her, let me have sex with you. He's just thinking, we're about to have a tango with this nice little prostitute. She's beautiful and so forth. They're about to dance this tonight. You know, Judah, fresh.
Yeah.
He is ready. He hasn't had sex in a long time. So he's like, it's to work this woman, this is it. But, verse 16, it says, and she said, what wilt thou give me that thou mayest come in unto me? So, he didn't know she was the daughter-in-law, but she actually, wait, what do you want to give me if I have sex with you? She brought up conditions in the midst of it.
Wow.
And he said, I will send thee a kid from the flock. And she said, will thou give me a pledge so thou send it? So she's saying, can I get that like in a contract? Because this guy, if you use him based off his words, he's a cheat.
It's true.
Judah is a cheat.
It's true.
He's cheated too many people.
Yeah.
Verse 18, he said, and he said, what pledge shall I give thee? And she said, thy signet and thy bracelets and thy staff that is in thy hand. And he gave it to her, and came in unto her, and she conceived by him.
Wow.
And she arose and went away, and laid by her veil from her, and put on the garments of her widowhood. And Judah set the kid by the hand of his friend the Adulamite to receive his pledge from the woman's hand, but he found her not. So let's just give you a general consensus of what's happening. We're talking about deception, we're talking about honesty, because in the midst of it, God's not worried about the actual action, but the purpose behind your sex life. And in the midst of this, right here, even in the midst of Judah has sex with a woman that he thought was a prostitute.
He did.
Yeah.
It was his daughter-in-law. She wrapped herself up, she had sex with him. But guess what? She realized something. Look, I need to come in here with conditions. So in the midst of it, she told him, look, what can you give me for having sex with you? He said, I'll bring you a goat. I'll bring you a goat. This is the time he said, I'll bring you a little kid goat, babe. He said, I'll bring you a goat. Okay. She was like, we need something. We need something to catch him.
Receipts.
Exactly, receipts.
Yup.
We need something to catch him. And the only way to catch him is what he's known for. His signet, his robe. Everybody knows only Judah wears this.
Right.
So in the midst of it, he's like, you know, this guy, after a while, he's like, man, I'm trying to have sex. His mind is not even there. I'll give you everything, okay? Somehow, some way, guess what? He didn't pay as per usual, and then came back later and paid. Judah's very funny. But it finally caught up to him. It finally caught up to him, because guess what? She got pregnant. She got pregnant for Judah.
Her father-in-law.
She was married to his first son. He died. Second son, he had sex with her and pulled out. Third one is the father.
Wow.
The father. It's a family affair. A big time family affair. Everybody was involved. But in a family of lies, family of deception, what is the purpose, brothers and sisters? Tell your neighbor, what is the purpose of your sex life?
What is the sex life?
Because whether you know it or not, People are so concerned about the fact is that, oh, when I have sex or when I think about sex, the fact of the matter is that when you think about sex or when you have sex, you think God's so concerned about that? No, he's concerned about your purpose, your intentions for people, for yourself. You know how many people God has seen being heartbroken? You think he likes that?
Nope.
He doesn't like it. He doesn't like it at all. What was the purpose behind it? Because God had no hand in it. He had no hand in it.
It's true.
It's just the truth. Oh God. I'm telling you guys, if you can understand this will help you along the way.
Yes, sir.
If you can be so honest with the people that you're in relationships with,
Yes.
or the person that you're trying to build a partnership with, be honest. If you've never had an honest conversation with them, be honest with them. If you're single and you're about to get in a relationship, or you want to meet someone, be honest. Be honest with them. Lay out the intentions. Because people don't lay out the intentions anymore. They hide it behind.
It's true.
Then you find out later on and you're angry.
It's true.
That's the best way to save yourself. It's honest. We'll just conclude with these few pieces. Like we said, we'll continue on later on in the evening. We just want to give you an idea of where God is in your sex life. It's not in whether you do reverse cowgirl or any other thing. He's not worried, honestly, about that aspect of it. That's you and your partner. What he's concerned about is what's your purpose. And we'll explain to you what are the purposes that we're talking about. Because countlessly people have sex every day. Some people right now are believing God for a child. So that's why they're having sex continuously. Because they want a child. I mean, it's not going to come like a stork. So you're going to have to put in some effort.
Right.
So they're putting effort time and time again, day in, day out. Now we're going to tell you this. In the subject of sex, you may be asking, okay, this story right now, who is God going to blame? The man.
Right.
God is going to blame him.
Fair.
And the reason why, okay, so why is he going to blame? What's the purpose behind that? Well, guess what? Really, when it comes to purpose, it's actually in the hands of the man. It is. Why? Somebody may ask, okay, what if the woman invited me to her room? She invited me. She was trying to have sex with me. Well, guess what? When you finally got to that room or whatever you had, you established grounds with the person? Have you established your ground? People may establish things like safe words or like, I won't do this, I will do that. But they never establish the ground of, some people may say their heart. They don't establish the ground of, this is where I want to go. This is where we are going. This is where we have found ourselves right now, but this is where I want to go. What is the purpose of this? It will save you so much time. All the blurred lines where you're not sure. You ever? That's where situationships come out of.
It's true.
Situationships come out because there's no good intention. Everybody's clouding and murdering. I said murdering. They're putting like a cloud over their intentions and so forth. And if you ask the person, okay, how are you and Collins? They're like, you know you know when somebody gives you two gaps, you just know for sure it's just sketchy.
We're together, not together.
We're figuring it out along the way and so forth. But somehow, some way, someone could get hurt in the midst of it. What is the purpose behind this sex? What is the purpose behind this relationship? Where are we going with it? Because you can only keep this act on for what? So long.
It's true.
It can only go for so long. If you help this can help you.
It really can.
So that what? You don't find yourself heartbroken.
Right.
Because God's tired of seeing that in people. And for some of you guys, guess what? You can also save your partner or person that you're trying to build a relationship with. Be honest. Honesty matters in relationships. It matters when you're growing with someone. There's honesty in it. Where is this going? Tamar was, after a while, she realized they weren't honest to her, so I'm not going to be honest to you. So she popped out with a child for the father. She said, look, it is what it is. You're going to have this child because you weren't honest with me. It was a family of dishonesty. 2 sons, 1 dead, two dead actually at this point. And the whole purpose behind it, where were their intentions for her? So the first things first, even as we close out. First things first. For some of you guys, we told you all to write on here and post and so forth. What you need to do, you need to stand your ground, write your intentions. tell the truth. Be honest. Be open about it. This is what I want. This is what I don't want. Let it be known before you get into the act. Because somehow sex muddles everything.
It's true.
Don't know what's going on after a while. Like, we were here, but now it just became like a valley and a hill. It just keeps rolling. We don't really know. But honestly, that's something you need to tackle. What are the grounds to this before you have sex? When you say, oh man, I was drunk. Well, that's another reason why maybe gotta be careful about that. Because guess what? You find yourself doing or finding yourself in an intention that you're not sure of. Then you wake up, then that's when people have that wake up like, oh my gosh, how did I get here? Like,
Tough.
it's real. That's where God is in your sex life. Is what is your purpose behind having sex? What are the intentions that you have for not only yourself, but the person that you're having sex with? Are you just a deceiver? You're just lying behind it all? These are the bases to relationships, the principles of it all. You see, more than ever, as we wrote down so many things, for those who are single, you wrote a lot of things about the kind of person you like. Don't go and deceive the person and say like, you know, you want to be in a relationship with them and you don't. Don't go and write down all this stuff and next thing you know, you're like, the only intention you have for the person is to have sex with them. That's it.
It's true.
Don't be that kind of person. Because guess what? All these stories that we're reading about Tamar, they were all behind closed doors. And they all believed that God couldn't see it. But God saw all their plans for her. And it was wrong. So God is behind your sex life. He's definitely watching, but not for the things you believe he's watching for. He's watching for the intentions. He's watching for the purpose. He's watching for who's getting scammed, who's not. Maybe that's why he slew those two, because they just funny. Two sons died? Come on! What did they do? And they said wickedness, but we don't know what the wickedness was.
Yeah.
At that point, somebody may say it's Tamar. They might say Tamar's that little verse out here. No. God didn't like how they were treating her. And she learned quickly. This family is they're very deceiving. I need to switch up on them. So more than ever, that's some food for thought. Even in our first session, like we said, we just want to give you a snippet and then we'll delve into it further on. Because what are the purposes for having sex? How do you define them clearer? What are the things that what are the conversations can we have? We had conversations today in sex in college, whether from the beginning to the end. You all had conversations. I think you guys all played games. I saw a lot of you on there, and that was really awesome. And you were really open about your intention. But are you able to be open about your intentions with the one that you're getting in a relationship with? So someone may say like, oh, I feel kind of embarrassed writing down the people I liked, or if I wanted to meet someone here, I believe it would be the safest place to meet someone in these programs.
It's true.
You laid out your business all on the table, I already know.
Facts.
So I don't have to hide. I'm telling you, you're gonna get tired of Instagram hunting, looking for if they're dating you and 3 other people. No, it's hard. I'm telling you. Save your heart and your time and your money, okay?
Right.
And just have a purpose and an understanding for why you're having sex. That's just it. Why are we? Because Judah was running the sex life of all his children, and they all were scammers anyway. And they all scammed one girl, and she finally decided to turn the tables on them. I don't know how many of you have ever, maybe some of you have never heard this in the Bible. You're like, wait, what is this? And you can look it up in your own Bible, Genesis 38. But this is very real. When I found this verse about the Spirit, I was like, wait, what? You start reading, you're like, this is good. You start reading, I was like, wait.
This better than Netflix.
This could be a whole TV show. But really, it's that exciting. It's that, because these are real things happening to real people. We live in a real world.
Yeah.
And God is not, he's not old fashioned. He knows it's been happening before. It's still going to happen today. But he's smarter about it now. Because all those hidden tears, he doesn't like it. All those behind closed doors actions, he's not for it. He can see. But he wants you to what? State your grounds. State your grounds. So for as many of you who wrote upon a paper, this is the best place to meet someone. Why? You're already honest. You already bear this part of your soul that you would never have told anyone. Never, honestly. It's very true. Because a lot of people in this time and age, or even in life, you can't tell someone your honest feelings about sex. Or maybe how many people you actually had sex with. Ooh, that one might throw them off. Yeah, so you just cloud it all up. It's terrible. All in all, let's be intentional, right?
Yeah.
Let's be intentional. Let's be purposeful. Let's be purposeful.
Right.
I believe that this is the time for it all. So, with that said, guys, I want to thank you guys for coming today. This is just the first session. The second session, we're going to go deeper.
Yup.
Because we need to know some things. I have some conversations I want to have after this. Like, don't go and text, please, don't go and text your boyfriend, like, excuse me, we need to have a conversation at 9 tonight. Meet me in the room. Please don't put my name in it. He's like, Pst.Favour told me this. We need to be intentional about this relationship. If we're not going anywhere, forget it. But then again, it's not bad to actually have that question. Because in the midst of being honest about another, you can what? Probably let go and be real in another relationship.
It's true.
Nobody wants to waste time. We're young, but we're not that young.
Oh,
All right? Awesome. Thank you guys so much.